all right. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing? What is up? What is going on? What is up? What is going on? How's everybody doing on this? Well, it's Tuesday for you, it's Wednesday for me. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody in the chat that joined. Black Bill Paradise, CRU Reality, Enigma Inc., Just Ask Char, Gray Regime Gaming. After this stream is over with, go over there, check out. I think Crew's doing a stream on the Gray Regime Gaming channel. So after this stream is over, we're not going to hold this stream too long. Today we're going to be talking about herd immunity and what they're trying to do. I'm going to read off a couple of excerpts of that. We're going to jump into some articles. We're going to have a panel discussion. My partner in crime, this is Joe. Hey, man, I want you on the panel if you can be on the panel. I know you're busy running around, but if you have some time, let me know. Hit the link. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. I'll send it to you on Facebook. Hey, what's going on, Vonda? How you doing? You know where the link is. You're in the server. You know what I mean? If you want to jump on a panel, but just give me my opening salvo 20-minute rant for everybody. It's Wednesday. It's a beautiful day outside. The sun is shining. Wish I can get this melanin popping, you know what I'm saying, with that vitamin D and everything like that. But yeah, we're going to start very shortly. You know what I'm saying? If you hear that little bubbling in the background, that's my hookah. Got to relax a little bit in the morning. But I hope everyone is doing well. Like, how are you guys doing? Just say what's up in the chat. Let me know how you guys are doing. How are you holding on in this lockdown or this COVID? Okay, cool. I know you. So how's it going for you, Joe, over there? The schools are opening still, or you? Because I know you opened your new business and stuff, man. We're going to definitely get up, man. When we're going to have a little, interview. You can tell everybody about your new business venture. I want to get you and your business partner, man, so we could just have a little sit down talk, man. I got a expat show that I like to do when we start talking about that and everything like that. But yeah, I'm about to start pretty shortly. We're going to talk about this herd immunity. This herd immunity and what they're trying to do right now, because we were going over a couple of things and we were talking, just in the Discord servers and in the, in the back chats, and we were talking about how, the calling of the herd, how this virus, this pandemic is taking place and doing a lot of stuff and doing some things to people, and it's affecting the world, and there's a lot of things that go into it financially, population control and things of that nature. But first off, this is what I just looked up. This is the definition of herd immunity: the resistance to spread of a contagious disease within a population that results in the results if a sufficiently high proportion of individuals are immune to the disease, especially through vaccination. Now, listen to what that is being said. Usually when a disease is implemented into a society or any type of species, certain, that species, there will be, if the virus or the disease is not really that aggressive, the species through whatever the environment will build up an immunity. That's why you notice that a lot of these first world countries are really susceptible to this virus versus third world countries where they have a bigger immunity because they don't have a lot of antiviral or access to antibacteria medicines. So their body naturally have to build up an immunity to it. They say people that are from the continent of, Africa, basically have a higher immunity because the environment in which they're in, because they're always their body has to fight it off. Plus, the natural fruits and vegetables that they eat helps with boosting their immune system. And being in a first world country, as soon as you get sick, you go take, antibacterial medicines and things of that nature, but you're taking antibiotics, right? Antibiotics basically kills off good bacteria that can help fight this immune system versus taking probiotics, which will boost your immune system. And a lot of people don't know that your immunity is actually in your intestines, in your gut, right? It's so that transfers to what you intake and what you eat, right? If you're eating terrible, if you're eating bad, your immune system is going to be low. And we're using, we eat a lot of products that have high doses of preservatives and stuff, which actually preserves the meat, but don't keep the nutrient content in the food that we partake. Right. Let's read some of these right here. You know what I'm saying? Let's leave these some right here. All right. All right. I was a Enigma Inc. Put this up here. Enigma Inc. I was a latchkey child growing up. Working from home doesn't bother me. Yeah, me too, man. I was a latchkey child. I'm an only child. Doesn't bother me, you know what I'm saying? But I do like the joys of actually walking around and then discovering stuff too. So, it's really getting on people right now. Let me see. Bill Gates is a beast, man. Not in a good way. COVID certificate of vac. Yeah, I heard they're doing that thing. There's people talking about streams with the 5G and the COVID-19, how it correlates, and that is true. I was in the military. That 5G antenna is a very super powerful antenna. When we was on the ship, if we would radiate certain antennas in port, which you're not supposed to do, if somebody did it by mistake, you would see seagulls just dropping on the deck of the ship because it would radiate and the radiation would take people out. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me see. What is that? Many Americans eat a lot of unhealthy food, are under a lot of stress, and this all links together, but we're waking up to this matrix control. You're correct. Now, what I would want to do in this opening salvo is play this video. I would like to play this video. It's from Med Mastery and things of that nature. So I'm gonna play this video and I'm gonna stop it in between so we can discuss this and talk about this and stuff like that. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I'm like, a lot of people still got to brave the elements, you know what I'm saying, to make a living. Especially if you're in the service industry, especially if you're in the service industry, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, especially if you're in the service industry. So I'm gonna play this video and I'm gonna stop it in between, and let's get down to brass tacks.
Occurs when a significant proportion of the population or the herd have been vaccinated or are immune by some other mechanism, resulting in protection for susceptible individuals. Let's see how this works in action. In a previous video, we talked about R0, the basic reproductive ratio. Let's look at this example where we have 1 diseased or infected individual and 18 susceptible individuals. As you might remember, R0 is the average number of individuals an infected person gives the disease to. R0 is fairly constant for a given disease. R0 for the novel coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, has been estimated to range somewhere between 2 and 3.
Now, you notice how he said the novel COVID virus, SARS, right? You heard the word SARS come out. So basically, this COVID-19 is a mixture of the regular COVID virus and SARS. So there's like a mixture. So yes, this has been man-made. This has been synthesized in a way that it is not normal. That's why they call it novel. That means that's a nice term for them to use to basically say that this virus was in a laboratory and somebody was tweaking with it and messing with it.
So let's say this COVID-19 patient gives the disease to these 3 individuals. And let's say these 3 individuals give the disease to 3 other individuals in turn. Then this is what the situation will look like after some time. Now let's assume that
Now you saw that, right? You saw this right here. Let me bring this back. You saw how the contaminants work, right? You see the people that are on the outside of this, in this little diagram with these stick figures. They're showing like one person affects 3 people and another person affects another 3 people, and you see how these people outside of this circle that are not here. So what you would imagine is, say this is the city of New York, right? With all these people in a dense population scenario, and then you're moving out here, and these people, let's just say they're like in the South somewhere, like North Carolina or in the county areas, right? And this is how this works. Now, in another situation, what happens was the first real explosion in the U.S. really happened on the coast, but it happened out there in the rich areas, like in the county of New York or upstate, where a lot of people that are affluent that travel were traveling back, and that county blew up, and those people were transferring back and forth into the city of New York, and this is where you get this major explosion.
Time. Now let's assume that we vaccinated some of these susceptible populations such that they became immune to the virus.
Now you notice they're pushing this vaccination thing, right? So they don't have a vaccine for it. So basically what they're trying to do is to get people to get vaccinated. But how do you get vaccinated? Well, you get vaccinated the way that you are vaccinated in with this virus. The way that you are vaccinated with any virus is they actually give you the virus with certain things, with certain enzymes that are in the virus, so that your body can attack it and you can build up an immunity. So you will get sick. It will be not a 14 to 28 day incubation period, but it will be a faster period where they synthesize the virus, so your body builds up an immunity to it, so it doesn't jump from host to host.
Now the virus can't infect the individuals it infected in the previous scenario. Now our index case only infects one other person. And due to the immunity or herd immunity of the group, this newly infected case can also only infect one other person. What we've done here is to reduce the basic reproductive ratio of 3 to an effective reproductive ratio of 1.
Now, so if it goes from 3 to 1, is that more acceptable or not? I think it's not, right? But this is how herd immunity works, right? If one part of the species builds up, one person in this, or one individual, what they would say, if you have one individual in that said group builds up an immunity, and then they can take that enzyme or their blood, right? Because that's why they're taking people's blood, right? That got over the virus. They're taking their immune system, right? They're taking their cells, and then they're synthesizing it, and then they're putting it in other people, just like if you have any type of disease, when they take out bone marrow, right? If you have leukemia, they get someone that's in your family that has the same DNA, right? And then they put you under radiation, kill off your immune system, take theirs, put it into your body, and then your DNA starts to gravitate to that, and then it'll fight the leukemia, right? With radiation, right? So this is the same thing. This is a herd type scenario, right? Now in a herd, right? If naturally what animals do, if there's an animal sick, most of the other animals in the herd will move away from that animal and let that animal be isolated, right? And then what happens is the animals that didn't catch that disease, they will build stronger, and then they will mate, and then those species will, be stronger and stronger, and then the disease will die off, right? Did you cure the disease, or you just let the disease die off? With this herd type immunity type of process, you're not curing the disease, you're letting the disease die off, right? You're letting your body just put up a extra buffer. That doesn't mean you're not going to get the disease. That means you'll get it. It's just like a cold, right? You get a cold or you get the flu, right? People die more of the flu than this virus, but this virus is highly contagious.
Seen in a previous video, when R is equal to 1, the disease remains stable and won't grow. The herd immunity threshold is the proportion of a population that need to be immune in order for an infectious disease to become stable in that community. Or in other words, in order for R to become equal to or lower than 1. If this is reached, for example through immunization, then each case leads to a single new case and the infection will become stable within that population. So how do we know what proportion of the population needs to be immunized in order to reach herd immunity? Let's look at a disease with an R0 of 8, where one infected individual infects 8 others on average. What would need to happen for them to only be able to infect 1 other person? Well, we would need to immunize these 7 over here. So 7 divided by 8, or 7/8, is the herd immunity. It's calculated as R0 minus 1 divided by R0. As we've learned previously, R0 for SARS-CoV-2 is between 2 and 3. So how many people would we have to vaccinate if there was a vaccine in order for the epidemic to stop? Well, that's 2 minus 1 divided by 2, which is 1/2 or 50% if R0 was assumed to be equal to 2.
Now, did you just hear what this man just said? He just said that you would have to, with this ratio, with this equation, you would literally have to basically immunize 50% of the population. Now, there are going to be laws coming down the pipeline for your kids to go to school where they're going to have to be immunized. They already started this for polio and all types of diseases and stuff like that, right? In that case, like with the chicken pox or something like that, you can't go to school because they, back in the day, when I was growing up, now your kids have to be immunized to go to school because they will spread it like wildfire, right? So they already pushed this into place. So do not be surprised that this will happen, and they will do it with the children instead of adults, right? They always do it with the children.
And 3 minus 1 divided by 3, or 2/3, if R0 was assumed to be equal to 3. So according to this calculation, we'd have to vaccinate between 50 and 66% of the population. Now, I recently heard Mark Lipsitch, an epidemiologist from Harvard, mention in a podcast interview that the herd immunity of COVID-19, according to his data, was around 40%. I'm sure he has more complex tools to factor in other variables that could influence herd immunity. But if you want to go by the books, the calculation of herd immunity according to the formula we provided is valuable and valid. By the way, I really recommend you follow Mark on Twitter. He provides great insights about the epidemic and seems to be a super smart guy. That's it for now.
All right. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for that. Far as, the presentation of, of the COVID-19 and the herd immunity. Now, this is playing a major factor in how they're going to push the narrative moving forward. Okay. They're going to be pushing these vaccinations. That's why they're trying to find a vaccine, but they're trying to implement herd immunity. They're not trying to cure those people that have the virus. If it happens, oh, good. But, people that have gotten over this virus, they've their lung capacity done went down by 20 to 30%. Now that's if you have a pre-existing condition, right? Certain people don't even show signs of it. They just walk around, they just have it like the common cold, right? They have a high immunity. So if you have a pre-existing condition, you're more susceptible to this virus. Now let me go through these comments, right? Okay. So Joe said Bill Gates is pushing a vaccine, a man with no medical experience. They say there's a chip in the upcoming vaccine. Not sure about that, but it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, that's the I heard about that chip that they're putting in. What they're trying to do is use nanotechnology in that chip to boost your immune system. Now with this novel virus of COVID-19, China has been making what they call these designer super babies, right? Where you go to this genealogist and they'll sit there and they'll take your genes and they'll take your wife's genes and then they'll take the best out of the DNA, right? And it's like humanity 2.0, right? Where you use a nanotechnology and you're using STEM research to basically boost your immune system so you won't be susceptible to diseases because they're trying to explore a new paradigm, right? So this virus, I think it was a mistake that it got out. I guess they were trying to test this in a lab against for this designer children or whatever, and they just got out and then they're just letting the process flow with itself. See, I wish I could say that, but he's talking about depopulation for years. Yes, I'm like the Earth, in a lot of cases, are overpopulated. Majority of the population is in China. So you're talking about how many billion folk that we have on the planet. I think they're counting with with the census or whatever, just the estimate of 7.8 billion folk. China has about like almost 2 billion people, but they have a ridiculous number of men. I think it's like a 50 something to 40 something ratio between males to females. This is really crazy, right? So this is really crazy, right? Yeah, Enigma Inc. Yeah, history does repeat itself. Research the Spanish flu, and you will get a fair idea this pandemic will spread. Yes, you're completely right. Vonda H. That's the ironic thing about it is that it helps to create the vaccine, and there's going to be a chip placed in it, and then they may be able to control who lives and dies. Yes, I'm like they're already doing that right now. With any pandemic, they've done this for years. They've done this for years with any pandemic. The bubonic plague and everything like that. Then I would like to show one other thing, right? Now, this is very telling, right? I'm going to show this news article. This news article. Hold on, let me see. Okay. So I'm showing this news article. Starving, angry, and cannibalistic American rats are getting desperate amid the coronavirus pandemic. Okay. As millions of Americans shelter indoors to combat the deadly virus, which has claimed over 21,000 U.S. lives, many businesses, including restaurants and grocery stores, have closed or limited operations, cutting off many rodents, main sources for food. On deserted streets across the country, rats are in dire survival mode, experts say. If you take rats that have been established in the area or somebody's property and they're doing well, the reason they're doing well is because they're eating well. Ever since the coronavirus broke out, not a single thing has changed with them because someone's doing their trash exactly the same in their yard as they've always done it, poorly. But many other rats are not faring as well, said the researcher, Korogan. I guess that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not good at pronouncing names, so just bear with me, y'all. Okay, who works as a consultant for several city health departments and businesses, such as airports and shopping malls. A restaurant all of a sudden closes now, which has happened by the thousands, not just in New York City, but coast to coast and around the world. And those rats that are living by the restaurant, someplace nearby, and perhaps for decades having generation of rats that depended on the restaurant food, well, life is no longer working for them, and they only have a couple of choices. And those choices are grim. They include cannibalism, rat battles, and infanticide. So basically, with these rats, right, they're mammals just like you and me. So when you're really, really hungry, you're not going to act the same. You're going to act very bad, usually, he said. So these rats are fighting with one another. Now the adults are killing the young in the nest and cannibalizing the pups. Now, you see this, right? Now this is crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that we, this is nature showing, showing itself, right? This is nature showing itself, right? So you have to understand, like, a lot of things with this. Even when you look at nature's going to show you some things. So if this virus doesn't, if we don't get to a point very quickly where we can, we can start going back to some type of normalcy, we're going to see a lot of spikes. Remember, people can't go to work, so how are they going to get your produce to you? How the farmers are going to get their produce to you, right? Right now, we're just seeing the early stages. Remember, this is like planting season, right? The spring is where you plant. You start putting seeds into the ground. You start feeding your livestock, right? Then the harvest is usually is always in the fall. So this is going to affect us. So the cost of food and everything else is about to go up. So we need to be very diligent in what we do. So you have to actually set your diet now to being able to eat less, and if you probably noticed with yourself, even if you've been indoors with this COVID-19 thing going off, is you've noticed that you're not eating as much because you're not expending a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? You're not expending a lot of energy. Hey, what's going on, Chandra? How's everything? Thanks for coming through. So, with these articles and stuff like that, and then I'll get more into it. With another article where they're talking about they're closing down a meat packaging plant in North Dakota due to a lot of people got this virus. So I'll dig into that article just in a second. But now we're at our 30-minute mark, a little bit over 30 minutes. So I would like to open up the panel. If you guys would like to join, say a few words or and discuss this, I am open for discussion. Just hit the link in the for the panel. It's in the appropriate servers. It's in the appropriate servers, and you guys can join in, and we can keep this discussion going. And I would like to hear what you guys have to say about about this virus and how it's really affecting you guys. How it's like really affecting you guys. But far as it affecting me, I'm in Japan. It's kind of like business as normal. It's kind of like business as normal. With but certain things are closed, like certain things like the pachinko parlors, where people gamble. People at modified working hours, a whole malls are closed because people are just gathering in the malls. So the malls are closed. Yeah. So the malls are closed right now. They're not really doing what they need to be. They're doing that for social distancing because you can tell people to stay in the house, but people still need to do certain things. Um, Yeah, but this is going to affect a lot of things. We're worrying about our jobs, but you're talking about your food source. And the reason why I brought that article up with the rats and stuff like that is that people will start doing things and they're going to start going into survival mode. And it's going to be the survival of the fittest. And the people that have power, you're going to start getting a lot of tribalism. Rugged individualism is not going to work. I would suggest you stay in contact with your family as much as possible. Check on them, bartering of services, trading of things, making sure your family stays together, not just your immediate family, but your extended family. A lot of people are migrating to the South. They're moving out of the city states. They're migrating out to the more rural areas where you have more distance between each other. People are not trying to be more compact on top of each other. This is going to change a lot of things, but this herd immunity is what they've always done for centuries. So, so this is really like something that is really pushing the envelope of our evolution of society and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so this is like, what I mean, this has affected everything. I knew it was serious when they start canceling sports games, when the NBA decided to cancel the season. No, well, put the season on pause. Once you start seeing that, that means it's serious. I'm like, we did 9/11 happened. They still had Sunday football. A couple of like 4 days later. So this is a very serious thing, and a lot of people are not taking it serious like they supposed to or they should. Right? A lot of people are not taking it serious like they should be. Was it Char Willie conversations with Char, a mental frustration, less sunshine, lots of information, and lots of questions. Yes. Um, I don't like to sit up here every time I do a live stream and keep talking about this subject, but it needs to be talked about, but it needs to be talked about the not scaring people but preparing them, because if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And a lot of people do say that, what I'm saying? A lot of people do say that they're scared, what I mean, and they don't know what to do. And if you seek the information, you calm yourself down and you take the precautions, we can get through this. We can definitely get through this. Now, what the government is doing, that's what they're doing, right? And we know that's what they're doing. So, they're doing whatever they can do. Sure, sure, Joe, you can get the link, man. Hold on one second. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second, Joe. Give me 1 second. These browsers, man. Yep, working these browsers, multiple browsers. You know, so yeah, so yeah, with COVID-19 or whatever you're. Yeah, so Joe, I sent it to you on Facebook. On Facebook. So Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's that right there is StreamYards. Actually, if it wasn't for Char Willie conversations with, we wouldn't have this StreamYard. So we like to give a shout out to uh to our esteemed Lady Shaw. Hey Neek, welcome. You for thank you for stopping in the chat, showing your support, showing your support. Hey, we have the Cerulean.
And greetings, esteemed Drake. Well, how are we doing? And shout out to the chat.
Oh man, you coming in loud and clear, like, man. Oh man.
Yeah, I got the foam off the mic, but I still need a dynamic mic though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
just took the foam off.
Yeah. Let me bring in.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on, Joe? What's going on?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. Loud and
Okay,
clear.
cool. Nah, I'm out driving to another school right now, so I had a little bit of time. Yeah.
Okay, all right, man. How's it going over for you down there in Okazaki, man?
It is good. It is good. I have just moved to Nishio City right now because that's where the new business is. Um, yeah. I don't want to say too much right now because we had to make some new changes and plans due to this whole thing because customers are staying in the house now, but we still find ways to make money off of it though. So by helping people out and making lives easier for them. But yeah, once we get settled in like again, because we have to make changes, then I will definitely be okay with talking about what like what we're doing.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I think the
I
last
like
time
this guy.
yeah,
Is this is one of yours, Dre?
yeah. I actually did me and Joe did a whole bunch of streams. We met each other. He lived down in Icy.
Ah,
Yeah, so we actually we did a video together. He's got it on his channel. I got a little part of my channel. We did some vlogging. Well, I showed myself around Okazaki. He was a little busy, but nevertheless, but yeah, we'll meet up again before I skedaddle out of Japan. Um,
indeed.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you heading out? That's right.
yeah. I'm heading out. Yeah, he met the wife and everything. We had he didn't have his samosa when he took us to that Indian restaurant that he.
I was so disappointed. I swear, man. Like if a place doesn't have samosa, I don't go. I do not go, man.
Well, here's a question for you, because I noticed that the vegan movement, because of this virus, has been kind of stunted.
Yeah.
How is it affecting you? Because you're vegetarian, right?
Yeah. I mean, here's my thing. Like with the new business going on, we have to scrap now because we just want to put as much money back into the company so it can keep growing. But
Right.
I mean, I'm doing what I've always done, man. We got frozen fruits and vegetables, always living cheap but healthy. You got beans, you got it's not about the money. It's about finding the right places with the food that you need at the price that you can afford. So, and there's always places out here for that. There's like we got it's called Gyomu Supa. Basically,
Hmm.
it's more based on like Southeast Asian, Brazilian, and like that kind of food. And it's cheaper, it's healthier, and it's extremely affordable. And I see a lot of Japanese people going into it now because they didn't before, and I'm getting nervous because I'm trying to be why y'all here now?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's a
But
good mentality to have. Not to go back to something you said earlier. Something I've always talked about. Um, Enriching the lives of others
okay,
actually enriches your life. You know, because people don't understand that helping people actually does make you money.
it does.
You,
It does.
people think that helping people always costs money, but it actually doesn't. It actually makes more. If you don't make money, you'll definitely make connections.
Yeah. I mean, people always want to work with those they like and trust. I think because I used to be extremely selfish, and you can go places faster. You can do things faster when you're alone because you know your own path. You know what you want to do. That's cool. However, you can always learn things that you didn't know before, and plus, it's just always better to have a group around you, man. It's just always better because you're only going to get so far by yourself.
Indeed, indeed.
So
Oh,
what you're saying, Cerulean and Joe, that rugged individualism does not work.
no,
Yeah, I mean,
actually,
it's good for maybe individual tasks, sure. Like if you're a master at your craft, yeah, do that alone because other people could slow you down. But you're always better working with the team because my thing is this: like for our new business, my friend, he's a great voice actor and he's really good with directing and like theater work. So he's really good with like promotion and stuff. I am the editor and the video guy. That's my thing, and we stay in our lanes, but we help each other out. Um, we have another friend who's extremely good with cooking, and she has a whole bunch of cool shit going on. So um we stay in our lanes, but we do work together because we put ourselves together into one project to put out this content, this product, and it's helping people out. So yeah, we're helping each other out by staying in our lanes, but also knowing that our lanes are also converging at the same time. Like everything is on the same coin, you know. So that's basically it.
indeed. As a matter of fact, if you be so kind to drop your channel in the chat, I'll certainly subscribe. Um,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
I'm a huge fan of positive content.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My channel's been kind of dead for about a year. So, but no, but my channel is just this is Joe. This is Joe. That's it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
I'll go in there and drop the link in there, Joe. Like now Cerulean, he was over. He was down in the area that I'm in now. He was
Okay.
in the military. So Cerulean Joe is actually from Chicago, so he didn't come to Japan the way that we traditionally came through the military. He came on his own volition. Well, he actually went to China first, and then as a teacher, and then came to Japan. So he's like one of the top teachers um, in his prefix in his area.
I mean,
So,
and
That's
being in
exceptional.
China, man, that's why I'm so freaking passionate about this COVID stuff, man. Because it's like I know you know, and I know you fellas know, but like a lot of Americans, like this, like what China's doing right now, and I'm sorry if I change the topic real quick.
no, go ahead.
Um,
It's okay.
uh, the stuff that China's doing right now that's now hitting the public eye. China's been doing this. This is nothing new.
Well,
China's
yeah,
been
we know the
hiding
Chinese. Yeah,
information.
we know the
What's up?
Chinese have been very sneaky. They they built four new cruisers right under the U.S. Navy's nose. While
Yeah,
being a top trade partner, and had two carriers recently roll out right under the America's nose. Uh, and who knows how many carriers and subs they've already got on the water. They're very sneaky, very authoritarian. They have the public appearance of kindness and their fellow man, but they could care less about loss of life. I mean, you see how they're carrying the COVID-19 thing, right? You've seen the press conference that was just like probably I think 36 to 40 hours ago. Looked like Xi Jinping, uh, the translator, kind of paused for a long time, and I'm thinking like, well, what did he
are you there?
say? It is
Okay.
exactly that's exactly what the
Hello.
what the translator said. Yeah, we could hear
Yeah,
it. And so
Okay.
they
Okay.
don't they don't
Yeah.
they don't care about loss of life. They'll sacrifice anything. In fact, I suspect that when the translator uh, was translating what Xi Jinping said on RT like a day and a half ago. It probably sounded something like, "We won, you lost." You know, they don't care. They're carrying on like business as usual. They're like, okay, COVID-19. Okay, we'll put people in and we'll maim them or or all out kill them if they disobey because we're an authoritarian country, yada yada yada. But these goods have to get out to the world. So we
Yeah, this is, but you like, and that's crazy because like, me and Cerulean, we've been to China, but Joe's lived there. Like,
yeah.
he lived.
That's a whole different monster. Like I couldn't imagine actually living in China. Like I would say it's probably not on my top 20 countries of wanting to live.
Yeah. Well, Joe, like, can you give us a quick, just simplified version of your experiences there? Oh, he dropped off. He probably went to a bad area. He's in the country part of 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 Aichi. Well, in Japan, but yeah, it's China. China
Probably around a lot of metal, railways and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably because I'm like when I go through that area, it's a lot of tunnels. Like it's mountainous and stuff. Like because where he's at, he's on the other side of the valley. Like that famous area where Nobunaga got surrounded and ambushed.
Old Edo.
Yeah. He lives on that pass area, like on the other side where the regime that was after Hideyoshi that started the Edo period. Yeah, that started the Edo period. Yeah, there you go, Joe.
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. You probably.
I'm sorry, man. Yeah, this got messed up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, can you just give us like a simplified, like your experience in China? Because I remember that experience you had in India. We was talking about that in the chats.
India gave me a new perspective of loving Japan. No, man. Like honestly, though, man. Like if this virus really hits India, they are screwed, man. Because the hygiene is so messed up over there, man.
What do you mean if they're screwed if the virus hits India? How much worse can it get? I mean, you're already coming into a country that is shit smelling like curried ass cheeks. Yeah.
It is wild. It is wild. But guys, let me talk real quick. Just because I think this connection is kind of messed up. I'm driving now, so but no, like my time in China, it was honestly, I would say, the best 2 years of my life so far.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. China, the country itself, is amazing. It's like if it wasn't for like Japan bombing it, like there's a chance it could be like just one huge Taiwan right now. But yeah, like China is dope, man. Chinese people are cool. It's extremely social. The food is amazing. It's gotta be careful with the food, but the food is great.
Well, so lots changed, huh?
Like, yeah, it's a great place that the media will never show because there's amazing people in China. Just like there's amazing people everywhere, Yeah.
I know there's amazing people on the countryside. Like I see some of the most weirdest stuff on the countryside of China. A short time near.
Yeah.
People will build a car out of, just farm equipment, not even farm equipment, just like farm tools, like farm hand tools. They just make a car.
So, yeah. There was a barbecue lady, and she ripped out the chairs of a van and turned into a barbecue spot. It like China is very, very, very creative, man, because everybody's poor. So, but that's what makes it cool, though. I think China is a place that a lot of Black people could actually love if they met the right people, because I was able to relate to it so much. I didn't come from much, and the fact that they were smiling and happy, a lot of them, it just allowed you to be okay with that kind of circumstance and know that people do have it worse, and even in having it worse, they still find a way to be happy in that mess.
Well, what I think it is that we tend to relate, especially coming from America and being Black, where most of the world, if you looked at China as a country, you think as a monolith, right?
Yeah.
And so you wouldn't ever think that there were downtrodden people or people that were disenfranchised by their own government, right? And I think that's kind of the thing that black folk, we visit a place like China or even some places in India or Africa. I think that's kind of the relation that we see, that there are people just as disenfranchised as us, or even worse, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
what
it just
we
gives you a new
relate to. Yeah.
perspective on life. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Because I remember our previous conversations on our previous stream, Joe, right?
Yeah.
When you said you became vegetarian in China.
Yes, yes, yes. I got, okay. So I do love China for what it is, or at least maybe what it was. But one thing I do have gripes on is the food, because I got food poisoning twice, and then that's what turned me to vegetarian. So, but yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you got to be careful with the food. China it has first world cities, but for the most part, it's still a third world kind of country, though. So, yeah, the food quality is not good. I mean, it's not the greatest. You won't get sick most of the time. You'll be okay. But there are some instances where you do have to watch out, because it's just not there yet. Um, but yeah, I mean, I became vegetarian in China, but even in becoming a vegetarian, it was great because the vegetables there are so cheap. Like I can cook for myself. Like, $5 in China can get you like a whole maybe week and a half worth of food. It really can. $5 in China can get you a 30-minute taxi ride. Uh, like the money, like the money really does go far. And even in being an English teacher, you're on like celebrity status, because even on the lower salaries, you're still making at least 3 times more than the regular Chinese person, and that's what makes like women attracted to you there. Because I know a lot of black guys say that Chinese people don't like black dudes, and I can't speak much because that was their experience. So cool. But from my experience, though, I mean, I was able to date and everything, and I
Well, you
think
know where that comes from, right? It
it was
it it comes
just
it comes. Oh,
Oh, hold on, Joe. You kind of okay. You borging a little bit. I think he's in a bad area.
well, you know where that comes from, right? That comes from people that are attached to like the nightlife of China, right?
Yeah.
So typically you go like Hong Kong, Shanghai,
Macau.
um, yeah, Macau,
Yeah.
and you're into the nightlife. Yeah, the Chinese dudes aren't gonna like you because the Chinese woman, she sees American, black, white, or otherwise. Uh, the dudes do have a problem with that. But if you're
yeah,
just there and you're making connections, and it's not like you're like some of these guys in YouTube that are placing them on a pedestal and have these ill intentions, and you just kind of meet a girl, you date, and that's that. Versus the guys like, yeah, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna have sex with all your women. No, yeah, the dudes are gonna have a problem with that,
So
especially.
definitely, definitely,
So that
definitely.
so
comes
Even
from that
Chinese
nightlife
guys love
stuff.
making chicks, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
Joe. Somebody mentioned something about the censorship in China, like the far as like not them not being able to access like YouTube and Facebook and stuff. They have their own internal stuff like WeChat, their own currency, right? Like far as like
right.
electronic stuff, like how we got like Cash App and PayPal, but they got like WeChat stuff and things like that, so they can move abroad. But what we have here, like, because we was having this movement, right, where a lot of
Yeah,
black people, especially black men, are being told to travel, but they're not told to travel responsibly. Because the way you did it is you you were introduced to the culture in college, and you wanted
right,
to expand what I mean, your economics first before anything, right?
right.
So let me guess. So uh, you're probably a lot like a lot of college kids. I was one of those guys. Like traveling. I was traveling with this group called Science Initiative Group, and I was broke as fuck, and just kind of explored my options. And Science Initiative Group allowed me to kind of do the same thing that I was doing in the Navy, just without the Navy.
Okay.
And whenever I, would go into these other countries, I actually get to relate to people. Unlike when you're in the Navy, it's like, oh, we landed, we've been pent up for 9 months. Let's go out and fuck the town over. We're the Science Initiative Group is just like, okay, we're here to do business or what have you, study, and you just kind of meet people and you get the, on a personal level, right? And it was like, oh, these people are not so different, right?
Yeah.
They're not us, but they're not so different.
Yeah. That.
And when you're looking for opportunity, especially in college, whew, that's why I dropped out of college. This is like, nobody got time for that.
Man,
It'd be $100,000 in debt. Look, a degree is not that important. Not to be at the time.
Yeah, and and everybody's have to. But the great thing is, like, when I met Joe, right, is when me and him talked, he came from an actual traditional family, with the father and the mothers in the home and stuff like that. His parents say he actually came to visit him. Came to Japan and visited him.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, he's got like a strong nucleus, brothers and stuff like that in his family.
I got terrible.
Oh, yeah, man. I like. Did you move north or south? Are you closer to Nagoya when you moved, or
no? So I'm in Nishio now, so I moved more south.
Oh, so you're closer to Shizuoka, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So you are you closer to Toyohashi or Hamamatsu?
Yeah, I am closer to Toyohashi. Yeah, I'm about maybe drive me about 30 minutes, which is closer than Okazaki. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so all right, so when next time I go up and visit the in-laws, we definitely gonna get up.
That'd be good, man. That'd be good. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, I think let me say something real quick because I think I'm gonna have to get up because this connection is terrible on the road. But
Okay, cool, no problem.
yeah, but no, man. I think like because I know on Facebook I'll be posting a lot of stuff about China,
Yeah,
and it's just because I'm just so connected to it. I got I got a lot of friends there, and a lot of people now are waking up to what China is. But it's China is the same China that I've always known. Like, it's just now more in the open, and I really feel like this is a really special time that we're all being alive because we're starting to see an actual veil on society come off, and it's really interesting. Um, like all that stuff that people have been able to hide, governments and stuff. People are now finding out that a lot of us have been lied to. We have been manipulated. We have been, bamboozled by so much false information from the people up top. But we've always been that way. But now we're waking up, and this is a very, very interesting time to be alive right now. Just because this is like a very, to me at least, it's a very spiritual battle going on right now for the human being's mind. If they can get your mind, then they got you. Um, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to seeing what human beings do because we're waking up, man, in droves. We really are worldwide. We're all connected now, and we're starting to see with this virus that we are humans and that we need each other. The cars, the money, the fame, it means nothing if we're dead. So um, it's forcing us to go back into our actual selves. It's forcing us to be more creative. It's forcing us to spend time with each other, and it's forcing us to realize that a lot of this work that we're doing in offices and in offices and these big corporations, being at home, you realize that either you could be doing it at home or that the work was kind of pointless anyway. And we're starting to see how valuable teachers, nurses, doctors are in our society. So, yeah, this is a really, really interesting time to exist, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where we go from here.
Most definitely, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm very, you know what I'm saying, I'm very happy to have you on once again. We gotta do these more often. You know, I know your schedule's busy, mine's is a little finicky. Myself, man.
Yeah, man. Like Monday nights, man. Monday nights Japan time. I'm open, dog.
Okay, cool. We'll definitely, you know what I'm saying, we'll definitely get it. Use the usual time, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock,
Yeah, man.
9 p.m.
Like this is constant news coming through, man. Cause I'm all up in Bill Gates' ass, man. Like I'm trying to see what this dude is really trying to do to us, man. Cause when he first came out on TED Talks saying, you know, how vaccines could lower the population, I'm like, what the fuck you talking about, dog? So, you know, so I'm on this stuff, and I might be wrong, I might be right, I don't know, but I'm really looking into this research, man, because I got cousins now back home that are waking up to this information, man, and I want to make sure that they're safe. So,
Yeah, what's interesting is that most of the world is actually been woke, right? It's it's like the Western nations that uh, are always slow to catch on.
because we
Cause
so
so
used to being on the top, man.
well, we're so used to being told we're the best, right? Like
Yeah.
we're the best. Everything's great. We're America. We're the greatest. We got the greatest everything. We got the greatest. Yada yada yada. Yeah, we got Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but Japan has toilets that quite literally wash your ass for you.
Yeah. I mean, for the lazy motherfuckers that you know don't know how to use baby wipes or the wet toilets.
Hey,
Japan's
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get off. Um, when a country or nation or area of the world is so good for so long, people start to get soft. And America is soft right now. Men are soft. There are not enough alphas to be fighting this shit off. Uh, we are being ruled by people because we're not at our true masculine selves. People are lazy because things are easy. When we were planting seeds, when we were taming horses, when we were doing all this stuff by nature, which takes patience, a long time and skill, we were at our best because we had to be. Because if you're not, you just die. But now that things are given to us, we're lazy, soft, and brittle. So hopefully this will wake us up again to realize that we need to get back to nature. We need to get back to our masculine selves, our feminine selves, and you know we need to really be at our core so that we can survive and live and thrive again. And that's all I'm gonna say, guys, because I gotta give this connection sucks.
Hey
right.
man, thanks once again for coming through. We'll definitely get up, schedule some stuff, man. Me and you know, get some expats cracking. Um,
Sounds good, y'all.
you know what I
My
mean? Show.
apologies, you know, if I interrupted anybody. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh
no,
no,
man.
please.
Please, no, man. Anytime, man. You know, we got to show these SYSBM dudes what it really is to live in another country. Um,
Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm out, y'all. Peace.
peace, brother.
Peace.
Yeah, speaking of which, what it really means to live in another country. I just pulled up an article in which you had 5 African dudes test positive for COVID-19 in China, in one of the provinces of China, and they are now doing basically a Jim Crow type anti-black segregation. Blacks aren't allowed here. Blacks aren't allowed here because these African dudes had the COVID-19 in
No,
certain parts of China.
actually, that so in China, that's actually been going on. That's why you find like Nigerians or Kenyans in China, right? And they're all stuffed in the same place because
Yeah.
China is a very I say totalitarian way that it organizes people, and when you have a large immigrant population like non-Chinese, they all live up amongst each other. Why is that? Because Chinese policy says, look, these people are not us. This is where they're allowed to live. So if you are, you know, looking expat to a place like China, you got to be prepared for segregation. That was happening before COVID-19. I mean, I heard stories like that from brothers I was in the military with that, lived in China. Like, yeah, it's very segregated.
And this is the article that Charger Kirsten put in the chat.
Yeah, this is the covers coming off of China, right? Like this is the covers coming off of what has already been practiced. What our esteemed Joe was just talking about.
Yeah, exactly. What's happening? And and this is, like you said, this is where you have people that's in your circle that you can't do everything. And then, Sharja always comes through with the information. The esteemed Cerulean is always giving us great information, with this. But this is all a part of that herd immunity, right? That we're
or the illusion of herd immunity, because herd immunity has never existed. As a matter of fact, you look at it, America was betting on something as pseudo as herd immunity, which is why the failure to act for as long as it did, keeping the secrets because of international money ties to China. So they were betting on this herd immunity. They were literally betting on it. That's why you look at it. Look at America. Now America is the leader in people affected with COVID-19, while other countries are literally reining in the rates of COVID-19 infection just by taking it more seriously earlier on, not waiting for the shit to hit the fan, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. Like this thing, like I said, it's the reset button. Like I think it's a real reset button.
I think so too. I think this virus outbreak, it gave specifically, I would say, the Western countries like America, Britain, so forth, so on, the opportunity to do what they've always wanted to do, which is cull the herd.
Exactly.
And speaking of culling the herd, we have this problem in America. We call them boomers, the people who all the pensions and all the Social Security benefits go towards. The ones who worked all the... Yes.
Well, you got to look at it this way. Like, so if you have, take for instance, the Black community, you have about 70 to 80% of the wealth of the Black community locked up in the hands of the boomers. Well, when you look at wealth is not just, income. It's also what's owed. So in other words, the system having a debt that it owes you, the citizen, and that those citizens are boomers, and they want them out of the way. I mean, China is more totalitarian. They're like, fuck the old people. We'll go forward with the young, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in America,
that's a good idea, China.
In America, we really don't want to have the boomers around, even though these are people who are a wealth of knowledge, wealth of information. But in America, for the most part, we don't want the boomers around because the boomers mean that they affect the national balance sheet negatively because they're owed. These are people who worked their 30 years and deserve their Social Security checks because they paid in all the time, right? These are the people that worked the 30 years and deserve their pensions because they paid in, right? Whereas what they're doing now is they're actually doing this really nice economic, shell game or the cup game, where they hide the coin under the cup. So by the time it's time for me to retire, I'm currently 29, right? By the time it's time for me to retire, the retirement age will probably be 71, which means I'll be dead before they give me any Social Security income.
Yeah, so it's a cold game of 3-card Monte, right? Like find the pension, keep your eye on the pension. And as soon as you let the pension, it's not the pension. Early death, Social Security sunk. It's some other excuse, right?
Exactly, and that's very important for us to like pinpoint and look at. because this is what they're basically telling you is that you're going to have to build your wealth within your own families. You're going to have to pool together your resources within your own tribal communities, right? For you to be able to get out of the system at a time where you can enjoy the rest of your life. Like the average working age in Japan is 70. Like people do not retire at 65. There's still 75-year-olds sitting at the company. But the problem is that now you get top heavy, right? Like in the military, cerulean, right? When you would go up for them advancement exams, and then this guy that was an IT, he would make it to first class easy. But if you was an engineer, because it was so top heavy that you couldn't advance to second class because there was like a 5% advancement ratio with the entire
because engineering, we're like the Navy. You got to remember the Navy underwent something, or especially the naval engineers, we underwent something that no other group in the Navy underwent. That was when they merged all of the engineering rates into just machinist mate.
Yeah. Yep.
And so now you could be a machinist 14 years in and still be a E5 or an E6.
Exactly.
Because people, now you got chiefs wanting to hold on to position, not wanting to take on more responsibility at another place, because it's not much of a pay difference. Two, there's virtually no incentive because now you have your BMC now an MMC, and now other BMCs, ENCs, now they're all MMCs. So now you're so locked up. Needs of the Navy demands that they go to a place to where they can continue to advance. Well, those places don't exist if the chief is getting sent to, say, Mayport or San Diego or Norfolk or Naples, and the guy that would have been a senior chief or a master chief, well, he's still a chief because the rates merged. So now what would have been a BMSC, right? It's still a BMC because, or still a MMC because the rates merged. So now you got more master chiefs that are MMs. You got more senior chiefs that are MMs. You got more just regular chiefs and E6s that are MMs that would have otherwise been some other rate, like a BM or ENC or an EN or even in aviation, right?
Exactly. And
you can't move up that way.
And this is, and if we're talking about the military, which is like just like something that's really condensed with the greater society of America. Now you're looking at, Charger, he works in the oil fields and stuff like that. If you get more people in that line of work, then the value or the pay scale goes down, right? You know what I'm saying?
And while the work is dangerous, the more people you get, it's like you get less people working in the oil fields in North Dakota than you do in Texas. Why? Because they have to deal with negative temperatures and sub-zero wind chills and whatnot. So up here in North Dakota, a job that pays $22 an hour will pay $14 an hour in Texas.
Exactly. Now I want to bring up this other thing, right? About Trump and then what I'm saying, what he did, the president, what he did, and this is he's talking about firing, right? He did this tweet when he's talking about firing Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Fauci.
Yeah, Fauci. Yeah, I can't pronounce people's names, man. These weird names. And he's talking about firing this man because he actually showed the evidence that they were slow to react, right? And he's been in charge of this section since '85, right? He's been the authority. Now that's a lot of administration. That's like what Reagan. You talk about Reagan, Bush Senior, You're talking about Clinton. You're talking about Bush
Junior,
Jr. You're talking about Obama.
Obama.
Yeah. So he came out and talked about this, right? About how they could have dealt with this faster. They already knew. You can see his face. Like, look how he's holding his head. Like, my God, like you're causing problems, right? And then, Trump's talking about firing him, and then the man had to walk back on his statements. Not being critical, but why can't we hold, government officials and people? They can't hold these people accountable, right? For this, for their lack or their dereliction, right?
Okay, so here's what's going on here. He was off code.
He was off code.
He was telling on Trump.
Ooh.
So here is one of the things that Trump does, and he does with impunity. He doesn't care if you like him. He cares if you get the job done and if you make a fool out of him. He doesn't care if you like him personally, but if you make a fool out of him publicly, he will find a way to get rid of you. I got a buddy of mine that was he was a classmate of mine in Morehouse College, and he was one of the young black Republicans. He actually was going to be working under Dr. Ben Carson in HUD.
Yeah.
And the Trump aides went through, and when they did his background check, they found an article he wrote about how Trump might not be the conservative everyone thinks he is, and how he might not be the best thing for the Republican Party. And because of that article, that guy was fired.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, but Trump said in a, I think it was a 60 Minutes interview, back in what was the 90s, that if he wanted to take out the Republican Party, because people don't remember that Trump was a longtime Democrat,
yes,
right? And he said if he wanted to take out the Republican Party, then he would run for president as a Republican.
Yes.
Right? So let that sink in for a minute, right? You know what I mean? So the Democrats and the Republicans aren't that far removed. It's just people with total idealistic, but behind closed doors, they shake hands and kiss babies and kiss the rings. It's just like anything else, right? So
the great American trick bag.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, and what we need to understand as people is that when, the government put out this social distancing thing like that, but it's your state that enacts it. You know what I'm saying? It's your state that enacts it. You know what I'm saying? So you basically, for you to deal with whatever you got to deal with, you have to basically make changes at the state level or the prefectural level. If you live in another country where they don't have states, they have prefectures and provinces, right? So you got to get into your local government, like you got to get in your city councils. You got to pay attention to who's your state representatives in your state houses and stuff like that. Y'all need to go back to Schoolhouse Rock and look at how governments are made. You know what I'm saying? Just to give you a quick overview of how things affect you on that type of level. But yeah, like now I like to end this, I like to go with a little segment called Who Mans Is This? You know what I'm saying? We always got to go with Who Mans Is This? And I don't like to put our people out there like that sometimes. But this right here is let me see, is very telling about where we have our mindset as a people, right? And recently, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, or however way you want to say his name, he was doing these streams with these, with these people, these entertainers, and what he did was he was facing backlash because he was doing these Instagram lives and he had people up on there and, they were just like dancing and talking, just entertaining people, pretty much being the bards, basically taking your attention away from something for a while they do whatever they do, right? And what happened is that Diddy stopped Lizzo from twerking during a dance-a-thon that he was doing, right? And people were pissed about it because he let another woman twerk and he didn't let Lizzo twerk, right? And they said, oh, because she's fat and she's big or whatever. And Puffy came out and said, well, the music that she had in the background was a lot of cursing and stuff like that, right? And they did this on Easter. And he said that's why he stopped her from twerking and changed the music, because he didn't want them to come through the CPS to come through and shut down the stream. Now, I didn't do any further research on it and look past that, but I'm just bringing to you what was brought to you in that situation, right? And then you got the other woman that, you know, is like, I guess more fit. She's up there twerking, and you can see that right then and there, right? So I'm gonna stop sharing this for right now because we don't want to get any copyrights. We don't want to be smacked by the copyright gods. But in the link, the links are in the description for most of the stuff that that we're talking about and stuff like that, right? Now, here's the thing, right? Yeah, he let Jennifer Lopez do it too. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. Now, what's going on is that, you know, Lizzo did embarrass herself by having her butt cheeks out in the middle of an NBA game, right? So this is brought up, and now we're talking about this participation trophy. And I think this herd immunity is also coming down to this PC culture.
Oh yeah. The thing is there was an old business practice, and it's all over the place. It's called, we have the right to refuse service.
Exactly.
And you look at, and this is not a shot at Lizzo or her weight, but let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Why is P. Diddy facing backlash?
Mm-hmm.
Because one, the mainstream media was trying to use Lizzo as a stage prop to embarrass black folk, to make them look all coonish and mammy-ish and goofy.
Yeah.
And she's eating it up because she thinks that this is actual praise. She thinks this is actual acknowledgement, and it's not. It's actually an insult to the culture.
Yeah.
It's an insult to the culture. And it's not because she's fat, it's because, okay, you look at where she's shaking her ass cheeks out, family friendly event. I don't really blame Lizzo as much as I blame the motherfuckers who have her on the camera, putting her out to the world. And see, when you talk about P. Diddy getting backlash, that's who he's getting backlash from, is the other execs who are like, yeah, this is Lizzo. This is what your culture should be.
Right.
You see?
Right.
And P. Diddy's like, no, the culture is what I decide it's going to be, because I'm a black man and I want to make sure that what I expose to my audience is what I deem fit, not what you deem fit.
So what you're saying is that instead of whining about it, he's actually setting the environment.
Indeed.
And here's the thing, right? When I read the article, he basically told her, hey, sis, you know, this, and this. And I guess he texted her directly, I guess. And she said, okay, no problem. And they continued to do what they were doing while she was there. She didn't find the issue with it or anything wrong with it. So I guess that was the respect. And then they had that dialogue between each other, right?
Who he's getting pushback from is the actual execs. If you actually look at the background and actually read in between the lines of who's doing the pushing back.
Mm-hmm.
somebody else that's trying to dictate our culture through Lizzo. Lizzo is completely oblivious to how she's being played and used against her own people as a stage prop. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, the sister says right here, if that's the case, Diddy shouldn't have had any of the other women twerking. Dang.
I actually agree with that. You know,
yeah.
I actually agree with that. If you're not going to have Lizzo twerking, don't have any of them twerking, because one, it sends a poor image of the culture, that all black culture is some wiggling ass cheeks and rap music and yada yada yada. I think that black people are much more dynamic than that.
Thank you. See, and this is like, and usually when I do these segments of who mans is this, I don't like to bring our people to the forefront because we're always looked at as the minstrels and stuff like that. But it had to be, I had to do it. And I try to clear away from it because it's far other stuff going on that I can, do a donkey of the day, so forth or whatever. But I like to do the who mans is this thing. And this is putting our people out there and throwing our women underneath the bus. And using them as minstrels and mammies and stuff like that.
You know what I think it is though, because he let J-Lo, right, and I prefer J-Lo to disgrace her damn self than to have a black woman up there representing the culture. Let J-Lo be the goddamn mammy for a change. Let Becky be the goddamn mammy. I would say black women just to stay away from them. Let them have it, because I think black women are much more dynamic than that, as history has proven to us.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like I said before, man. Like a lot of stuff, like these leaders that were in the civil rights movement, marching and stuff. It was the black women that were bailing them out of jail, and I'm not talking about the Martin Luther Kings and the Sharptons and all the other folk. I'm talking about the boots on the ground, the men, the soldiers. These women were.
Somebody said twerking is dynamic.
Like twerking is not like, but these women, they would give their money. They were still going to work. They were carpooling. They were giving their coins. They were giving their time. They were making the t-shirts. They were breaking out the peroxide and the witch hazel and that wintergreen alcohol that burns, when they would get cracked over the head with billy clubs and making sure these men were walking step in step with their suits on. They were putting the stay flow on their pants and crisping their shirts. You know what I'm saying? Support goes both ways. If you don't have the support of your women in your own culture, especially as men, then you're nothing, right? This regular individualism does not work at all. And we're actually seeing this right now. Like in this situation, like rugged individuals.
Well, you look at P. Diddy. P. Diddy spent a lot of time trying to make himself into an island, and what it is showing you is that even a man of his economic strata, black man at his economic strata, it is impossible to be an island.
Yeah. I'm like, shoot. I'm like, he's actually, if you look at his economic strata, if you look at his economic strata, he's in the top 1% of men, right? Because he's a billionaire. He's in the top, he's in the top 1% of men, not black men, because if we look at the economics of black men, once you get into six figures, like just breaking seven figures, you're in the top 1% of black men, right? Like now he's in the top 1% of men across the world. So, and even he's catching that type of foolery, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So we have to understand that, we are only as strong as we are as being united. And this herd mentality and immunity thing does not work for us, because we don't have the resources. I mean, the resources, not just financially, but as population wise, we are the minority. We got 18% rolling around, and most of that are women, and we don't have enough men around, as it is, to project what the environment is to conquer it. And we have too many people, even in this situation, worrying about the girls.
I mean, you look at us as a group of men, and this is why our message is ever more important, because in the words of our esteemed Maximum Black, it has become a derelictocracy.
Yes, it has.
It has become a derelictocracy, a rule by a majority who are derelict in their masculinity.
Exactly. Dusty derelicts. The Delta Male Revolution, the Dusty
Delta Male Revolution.
Yeah, like the esteemed Cynthia G says, "In dust we trust." You know what I'm saying? But with this being said, I would like the mods and all the other content creators that are in the chat currently. I'd like to thank every last one of you coming, especially the people that are just showing up, showing the support. I see you. I see you all. I like to ask all of the mods in there and the content creators, please post the links to your channel. And so you can promote yourself. Also, I like to give this time to do so. And we'll be changing up the format in the coming weeks, because guess what? I have a Mac, and Streamlabs OBS is open for Mac now. Yeah,
indeed.
Buddy. Yeah, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I am not PC crew whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but for y'all to use PC, hey, y'all better than me. I like to pay for something and upgrade it once every 5 to 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So please post the links to the Ebony Star Network, the Gray Regime servers, and so forth. The CPC hashtag
I'm not hating on the PC.
Yeah.
Like when I saw Cruz PC, I'm like,
oh yeah,
he kind of like, hey, there's something to that PC. So I'm not throwing the PC completely out, because it was just like that PC that Crew KO. It was like, okay, all right. I'm gonna have to stand corrected on the PC thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but Crew, Crew is a genius, man. People don't give Crew enough credit for his genius.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? He's mad scientist over there. I'm gonna call Crew Rick. You know what I'm saying? He Pickle Rick. You know what I'm saying? We call him Rick, man. Crew is a genius, man. You know what I mean? He be dumbing himself down much. A lot, man. I got to get on Crew about dumbing himself down, but Ebony Star Network.
Well, Crew needs challenges, right? Crew needs challenges to be the genius that he is, because he does dumb himself down a lot to interact with some of these folks.
And that's why creating these spaces and these channels and stuff like that, so he doesn't have to do that. You can iron only shines iron. Crew, you are not dumb. You know what I'm saying? You may be annoying sometimes, but you're far from dumb. We don't hang around dumb folk. Salute the Vonda H, the Ebony Star Network. Please go and support the channel. Click on the link there. Go ahead, like and subscribe to that. Also, Gray Regime, the team Cerulean Gray. I am also a part of the Gray Regime. I don't have my shield on right now because I'm trolling with my passports in my hand. I'm trolling with passports.
Like, what are those?
I am at the airport, and we're about to go somewhere. Those are boarding passes. That's what you do when you actually go somewhere and travel. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? So Crew, go ahead and drop your link to your channel and to the Gray Regime Gaming. Sharja Kurz, I guess he's he had to leave, or he's having connection issues. You know what I'm saying? You're not dumb. Neek said an annoying genius. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
But you know, but he built that computer, man. That computer is, you know, he put some work
It's
in.
serious. It's serious business to be able to stream at 60 frames a second, 4K. And yeah, that's a feat, you know.
Exactly. You know, when this virus is over,
On less than on $1,000, you know, that is a feat, because you see most of the professional streamers and gamers, they're using $5,000-$10,000 computers to do what he's doing on like $1,000 computer that he built, you know.
And then the other thing about that is you know, he's yeah, I know, Sean, you got some connection issues. But what he did, you know, I think Crew, did you show your build, Crew? I think you did show your build on your channel. But you know, but that's information that we need, you know, and that shows that we are in tech, we are in science, we are in not just politics and entertainment, but we are in a whole bunch of other stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there you go, 1,200. You know, he got him a PC, he's built. You know what I'm saying? Knows what he's doing. You know, far as, you know, bringing forth content, and we are better and bigger than what is being put out there. So, far as that, you know, and everybody, I'd like to thank everybody for coming through. Crew will be going live playing his Assassin's Creed, Fate of Atlantis. He'll be going live shortly. You know, please go check him out. He'll be dual casting on the Grey Regime gaming channel and on his own. Salute to everyone in the chat for coming by. Thank you to all my moderators. Thank you for the panelists. This is Joe, Sharja Cursor, esteemed Cerulean Gray. Oh yeah, Cerulean, go ahead and before we do closing thoughts, go ahead and tell us what we got upcoming for content for the rest of the week.
Indeed. Tomorrow we'll be going live from Cerulean Gray channel. We'll be talking about a brief history of child support. We'll be breaking down some numbers. We'll also do a Gray Regime honors. I'm not going to reveal who. And then Thursday, of course, you know, is this movie night, and still deciding on whether we want to do the Iron Man trilogy or just part 3, because there was some interesting things. Shout out to the esteemed lady Cynthia G, who pointed out the fact that there was an incel in specifically Iron Man 3, and I remember this, that he was not only rejected by what was his name, Pepper Potts?
Yeah.
Not only rejected by Pepper, but rejected by select male, i.e. Tony Stark. And instead of becoming better, he set out on plans to destroy the entire world, i.e. the community. So we'll be doing that, drawing correlation to a lot of the rhetoric that you hear in the YouTube space. And then we'll be going again live on grayregime.tv on Thursday for that. And again on Sunday with another movie night, viewer's choice. Now that you mentioned Schoolhouse Rock, which is a film I completely forgot about, one of the greats. But Big Trouble in Little China is also on the itinerary. So we actually may leave it up to viewer's choice on Wednesday to decide what Sunday's film is going to be.
Yeah, we got to get a community poll together, you know, on the community channel. You know what I mean? To get people to vote. You know what I mean? Give a couple of them out there. You know, I like doing the movie night, especially with our resident derelict trend, angrier,
Indeed.
the angrier
man.
Yeah. Well, you got to say person now, because you know, I mean, they don't have gender roles anymore. So we say the angrier person.
Yes, the angrier person.
Yeah, the angrier person, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hey, Wanda's up there with Char, with the Mod of the Year award. You know what I'm saying? Char's been having it for like, what, 8 years running? You know what I'm saying? That's, what I mean? So, if everybody, we like to thank everybody. We're going to end with closing thoughts with the esteemed Cerulean. And then we're going to end the stream. I'd like to thank all of you for coming in, supporting. Please like and share the stream. Please drop in your social, your streaming platforms, content creators. I'm very cognizant and I'm very selective of who I let on my panels. They have to be vetted. We do not negotiate with terrorists whatsoever.
Or derelicts.
No derelicts, terrorists, no nif-noms, bedwetters, dishwashers, of any kind, of any sort, of any gender discretion or whatever. You will catch that work. My mods, you have the discretion. If you see anybody think that they're trolling, if you feel some type of way or whatever, delete the comment. If they do it again, they get to be gone. You know what I mean? Like Max says, like Max says, you come to my town, you're gonna get shot. You come to my town with guns, you're gonna get shot.
Yeah, keep the space pure.
You gotta keep it pure. You gotta keep it pure. And we do not invest in stoves, bunk beds of any type of any
don't even do hot plates, okay?
No hot plates, no pot pies, no microwaves, no crock pots, no rice cookers, anything of that nature. No pots,
not even a pizza oven. Okay?
No, man, not even a George Foreman grill. Not even a George Foreman grill. Right? We ain't even doing it. But I'll leave.
No, Belgian waffle maker though.
No, not even that.
No,
not even that. You only get a loaf of bread and a slice of bologna and some cheese. No peanut butter sandwiches. Nothing. No Debbie cakes. Nothing. Nothing. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I want to say salute to you, Steve Dre. Salute to the great regime. Salute to our esteemed Ebony Stars. It is Ebon Noblesse or nothing. Long live the Black nobility. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and be great.
And we'll catch y'all next week on this channel. And thank you all for showing up and showing your support. And to everybody else, you know what it is. Meet you in GS13 Superclass Pod. You know what I'm saying? And if you would like to join the stream, please get with one of the moderators. If you would like to be on the panel, they'll talk to you a little bit, and then I'll give them the ability to send you the link to the server, and then you'll be able to get on the panel. And if you don't want to go through those steps, then have a nice day and just hang out from the chat. Peace.